Today on Cold Case, our partners with Crime Stoppers Greater Atlanta make a plea for your help with cases that could result in cash rewards. And they ask for your support in this year's Atlanta's Finest 5K. Plus, we'll profile a few open cases to see if you have any information that could solve the crime. All that and more when Fulton's Cold Case starts after the break. Stay with us. Welcome to this edition of Cold Case. I'm Chris Foss, North Fulton Community Prosecutor. The District Attorney's Office, along with a number of law enforcement agencies, partner to investigate and ultimately solve crimes in the community. Fulton works closely with Crime Stoppers Greater Atlanta to put criminals behind bars. Sergeant Carla Baldini is the Director of Crime Stoppers Greater Atlanta. Welcome to Fulton's Cold Case.
Thanks, Chris. Thanks for having me on the show. I'm happy to be here and happy to tell you guys about the great success of the program.
Well, we're thankful to have you, Sergeant. Crime Stoppers Greater Atlanta gets to the core of crime prevention and public safety by identifying the people committing crimes and by helping law enforcement get them off the street. Sergeant, please tell everyone how this all works.
Thanks, Chris. I'd love to tell you, and the great thing about the program is that it's completely anonymous, 100% anonymous, and all the tips that come in get directed to the right investigative agency in the metro area. That means we work with about 80 different jurisdictions across the metro region, everything from Gwinnett County all the way down to Union City and everything here in the Fulton County area as well. The anonymous part of the program is so crucial because folks have to have a sense that they're protected and there's not going to be any fear of retaliation if they give information to police and law enforcement on the case. And with that information, we turn around and give it to law enforcement, and if it does succeed and lead to arrest and indictment, then we pay out a cash reward, and we do all that anonymously.
Sergeant, it sounds like you have a unique partnership with both the public and the media. Can you talk about the importance of that relationship with both of them?
Absolutely, Chris. What's so important about that relationship is that the media conveys the message that law enforcement is asking for from the community, and we provide that vehicle from the community to law enforcement to pass that information on through that anonymous pipeline.
Now, Sergeant, you keep mentioning the anonymous factor of leaving these tips. Can you tell us how these tips are anonymous and why these are so important?
Well, there's no trick to it at all, Chris. That's what's so important. The tip line has no caller ID available on it, and you can text and also email in tips. And the program that we use, it scrubs the IP address or the phone number from it, so we never know who the tipster is.
So the tipster, the information about the tipster is never released?
That's right, and we never know who it is anyway, so we can't release it. With that being said, the program falls underneath the 501c3 of the Atlanta Police Foundation. That means we fall underneath the nonprofit organization status, and these records are not subject to the Open Records Act.
What are typically some of the barriers that keep people from wanting to provide a tip?
Now, folks are, like I said, folks are afraid of retaliation sometimes, and then they're also sometimes they have apathy and not wanting to get involved. Folks in today's society sometimes feel like they don't want to be involved because it's not their place, but providing this blanket of anonymity is crucial because they can be involved and not have to tell their friends or loved ones that they're involved.
Finally, Sergeant, you mentioned that there's a possibility of a cash reward for a tip. Can you tell us about that?
Absolutely. There's a cash reward for any tip that leads to felony arrest and indictment. And once we are notified that the felon has been arrested and indicted in court, then we set up the money for them to pick up at a local financial institution, and they don't have to give identification or anything. They take the code number that we give them and they go pick up the cash. Just that simple.
So again, this even through the process of giving a reward, the tipster still remains anonymous. Is that correct?
That's absolutely correct.
Sergeant, please hang around. When we come back, we'll talk about the partnership between Crime Stoppers Greater Atlanta and law enforcement. Stay with us. Welcome back to Fulton's Cold Case. We're talking today with the Director of Crime Stoppers Greater Atlanta, Sergeant Carla Baldini. Thanks again for joining us.
No problem.
The information provided through the Crime Stoppers Greater Atlanta helps law enforcement agencies in their investigations and can play a major role in the apprehension of criminals and in securing convictions. Sergeant, tell us about your partnerships and initiatives with law enforcement agencies.
Well, the key is opening the line of communication, Chris, and making sure that everybody's on the same page. We partner with so many law enforcement agencies, and the key is them letting me and my team know that they are releasing something to the media, or there is a potential story that's out there where they're trying to catch a criminal, and my folks can help out and make sure they know that the tips are going to be coming in, so I can streamline those tips going to those agencies immediately.
Sergeant, the Burglary Stoppers initiative is with the Fulton County District Attorney's Office and the Sheriff and Police Departments. Can you tell us about this partnership as well?
We work with every agency on really any initiative that they have where they want to catch criminals, whether it's fugitive, burglars, any kind of case whatsoever. But the Burglary Stoppers initiative is mainly about how can we catch more of these folks, because as you know, folks that are involved in burglary are probably involved in many other crimes that go undetected. So the quicker that we can get these folks off the street and keeping our citizens safe and from being victimized is crucial.
We mentioned your partnerships with the public and the law enforcement agencies, but isn't your your relationship with the media also equally important?
It's absolutely crucial. And this segment is obviously just a portion of it. Because the mainstream media picks up stories constantly, whether it's on social media, television, radio. It's crucial that the message is out there, and we are pushing the tip line to streamline all the information to all the investigative agencies about any current stories or any current crimes.
So does Crime Stoppers Greater Atlanta use any social media platforms to do this?
Absolutely. We are out there on Facebook constantly, and we have Twitter, Instagram, YouTube page as well to push out any kind of videos that any law enforcement agencies are pushing out. Let's say it's a bolo of a robbery surveillance footage or something, some other evidence like that. And our Facebook page is constantly updated, as is our website, crimestoppersatlanta.org.
Okay. And what is your Facebook page or Twitter or Instagram?
The Facebook page is just put in Crime Stoppers Atlanta in the search bar. It comes right up.
Same with Twitter and Instagram?
Yep, absolutely.
Wonderful. Now, Sergeant, you have a big event coming up called the Atlanta's Finest 5K. Can you tell us about that?
Absolutely, Chris. It's so important that the public knows. You and I were just talking about all the rewards that we pay out on tips that led to arrests. And this year, as of today's date, we've already approved over $56,000 in rewards just year to date. That's a lot of money. And here in the state of Georgia, we do not receive any legislative or state funds for these rewards. All of the funds that we give out in rewards come from private citizen donations or fundraising events. It's crucial that everybody and all the stakeholders in the game understand that this is where our funds come from. The Atlanta's Finest 5K is just one of the events that we hold to get folks engaged and get folks aware of how they can contribute to the fund. Our goal this year is to raise $40,000, and we have a law enforcement challenge this year. The biggest agency that shows up, obviously besides APD, they have a little bit of a leg up because of the staff, but other law enforcement agencies in the area, whoever has the most folks attend, they are going to win an award, and then a media challenge as well. So I expect all of you guys show up in your running shoes. And the media is going to win an award as well, because the media plays such an important role in the Crime Stoppers program. So the largest show from the media sponsor is going to receive an award as well.
How can the public get involved with this event, Sergeant?
They can go to the Atlanta Track Club website and sign up and run and be part of the event. They can just donate if they don't want to run. There's a kids dash as well, so there's a kid component to it. It's a family event. It's going to be right outside of the Georgia Aquarium, World of Coke, right there at Pemberton Place on August 22nd. So anybody can attend and be involved.
And as you mentioned before, this event supports the work that you guys do every day.
You bet. All of our reward money comes from private donations and fundraising events. This is one of the 2 main fundraising events that we have just for Crime Stoppers Greater Atlanta.
When we come back, Sergeant Baldini will tell us about a case that we need your help to solve. Stay with us. Sergeant Carla Baldini is the director of Crime Stoppers Greater Atlanta. Sergeant, you've got a case to tell us about today, right?
I've got a lot of cases to tell you about, Chris, but I got a couple in particular that I think that your listeners will want to hear about.
Okay, well, what's the first one you've got for us today?
I actually brought a couple of APD cold homicide cases down today to talk about with you guys. And the first one we highlighted on the news maybe about 2 or 3 months ago. And the reward on this one, actually both of the rewards on this one have been increased up to $5,000. And the investigators are looking for information to solve the murder of Nicole Smith. This is an older case, and they have recently found ties to another investigation in East Point. There are some sketches that go along with this case that will show the listeners in a little bit as well. But we're encouraging the folks in the listening area on this case to call us if they have any information whatsoever. Investigator Velasquez is working tirelessly on this case to try to get some leads and get the family some closure on this case. So any information you have on the murder of Nicole Smith, we'd love to have it.
Sergeant, can you tell us any of the facts of the case? When did it take place? Where?
Yeah, that's the crazy thing, Chris. And the facts of the case are kind of they're not very clear. But I would love to share the sketch with you that they have that's been released to the media, and in the sexual assault in an East Point case, which is tied to the murder of Nicole Smith.
Okay, and you said you had another case for us as well.
Yeah, I do, and this one I have a little bit more information on, and it's a missing persons case. It's an APD missing persons case, and the young lady's name is Andronetta Hobbs, and it's caught a little bit of national attention lately because her family is trying to find answers and get closure on this case. Miss Hobbs's body has never been located; it's never been recovered, and APD believes that she was murdered in the Lakewood area. And actually, Sergeant Lyons is working the case, and the family of Andronetta Hobbs would really love to have closure on this case too. The police have some information, they have some evidence, but we really need somebody to come forward on this case with information so that they can solidify who the suspect is and move forward. The families in these cases, Chris, it's very interesting. The families just have no closure. They've never been able to bury their daughter, and they've never been able to find out who the killer was in this case. It's very, very sad for the families.
And just so our viewers know, can you tell us when Miss Hobbs went missing?
I believe it was in 2006, but we'll have to make sure. I'll have to clarify that and send you guys the actual press release.
Okay, well, thank you very much. Thanks for being here with us today, Sergeant. Sergeant Carla Baldini is the director of Crime Stoppers Greater Atlanta. We appreciate your time and the partnership. Thanks for joining us.
You bet, Chris. Anytime.
We'll be right back. If you have any information on these cases or on any case, please let us know. You can call Crime Stoppers to leave your anonymous information, or you can also contact the District Attorney's Office at atlantada.org. That wraps up this edition of Fulton's Cold Case. I'm Chris Foss. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.